What is the smartest thing you have done while you were drunk? Cops broke up a party at the small university I was attending. They arrested everyone underage. People ran into bedrooms and shut the lights and closed doors. I ran into a room with a girl, told her to leave the door open and lights on. We went into the closet. Cops arrested everyone in the other rooms, poked their heads into our room and left. Ordered pizza with the intention of eating one piece, go to bed and have the rest in the morning. Was very happy when I woke up. I have a bad history of eating disorders. When I'm drunk though, food is amazing. The other night I made sandwiches for my BF. No intention to eat any for myself. Woke up in a panic the next day, checked my cupboards and yup, the loaf of bread was down about 8 slices of bread, and the brand new peanut butter had been ravaged. FML. I went through a phase where I would come home hammered and clean the kitchen before I went to bed. It was nice being hungover and having a clean kitchen. A couple months ago, I found my kitchen spotless in the morning. Even the baseboards were shiny. Yup, drunk me went on a cleaning spree. There was this girl I was trying to talk to, but she wasn't really into me. I would still try to message her and crap, but it was obvious we were just friends. So, a few days after New Year's earlier this January, some friends and I were drinking. It was around 3 AM when I decided to send this girl a message. I was going to be like, hey, haven't talked in a while, happy New Year's, but even in my drunk mind I knew it was a crappy message to send to someone who's not so much into you, especially at 3 in the morning. So, I just deleted the message, put my phone in my pocket, and had another round with my friends. Nothing better than a true love story. Thanks for sharing. Turned down sex in a toilet cubicle. I wish it's because I was sensible, but it was actually because we had the same name and I couldn't get past that. I got drunk and deleted every pic, phone number, email, contact information I had for any girl I'd ever slept with or dated. Closure. I like it. Go drunk you. Got drunk last night. This morning I woke up and my belt was hung up nicely in my closet. My clothes were in my laundry hamper. My keys and wallet were in my bowl that I bought for them, and I had left a glass of water on my bedside table. Drunk me is a very thoughtful fellow. I'm jealous of drunk you. I wish my drunk me was as good as your drunk you. I once prevented a fight between two dudes who were yelling at each other because they thought the other one stole the cue ball from their pool table. I just grabbed a cue ball from an unoccupied table. Drunk people don't have common sense. So you're the one who took it. So here's the thing. I had no money on my transportation card, but somehow, I walked a 15 minutes way to the station, topped the card up $20, found my way on the train I needed to take through more than 10 platforms, got home, undressed, and went to bed, with almost zero recollection of doing so. Drunk navigation never fails to impress me. I was the least drunk when one of the guys slipped, fell, dislocated shoulder. I took him to the first aid station, looked after him in the hospital for a couple hours. A smart thing? Filmed the doctor popping his arm back in and sent it in the group WhatsApp. If that happens in my group, there would be a riot if it wasn't filmed. I found a guy passed out drunk in a ditch wearing a t-shirt and no shoes in the Canadian winter. Picked him up and put him somewhere warm for the night. Good for you, man. Atlantic Canadian here. Bought a bidet off of Amazon. I have pooping problems, so sometimes I can end up going to the bathroom 2-3 times in a row, so wiping can get painful. The bidet takes that out so can comfortably go the bathroom whenever I need and not have to worry about my butt bleeding. I'm writing this while on the toilet actually. I once woke up the following morning of a heavy night of drinking, worried I had done something stupid, but it turned out that I paid my bills, put some money in my savings account, and sent nice messages to my friends to tell them I was proud of them, while drunk. One time I donated $100 to a guy for medical related stuff through a fundraiser on a forum I used to frequent, verified by mods and all that. I was, and I'm still very broke, but it felt so good. Sober me would have thought it over and probably not donated for financial reasons, but drunk me was like, here you go, my friend. No radgets. My roommates and I got drunk at home. I went through the mail, filled out and put in the mail my vehicle registration renewal. We searched for 20 minutes for a stamp and finally found one to mail it. In my state, this required a check, insurance policy number, social security number, driver's license number. 2 weeks later, I'm in the kitchen opening mail with roommates and say, wow, I got my new registration. Did they extend it now? Do they do this automatically now, not remembering that I renewed it? My roommates had reminded me that I'd renewed it. One time I had a night class that I hated. On the day of the final, I had time to kill, and so I went with my friend to a bar. I got drunk. She dropped me off at the school again. I got an A still. Study drunk. Test drunk. I found my old DS about a year ago and started playing brain training again. I've never learned how to do Sudoku and never attempted it. One night, I got absolutely hammered, and when I awoke the next morning, the majority of Sudoku puzzles were completed, and to this day, I have no knowledge on how to do Sudoku. Not me, but I go to an engineering school and this one guy got blackout drunk and designed an airplane for one of his classes. Someone wrote an article about it. Fricked someone on a Cupid that I was determined to stay just friends with, because we have too many mutual friends and family friends. So an FWB situation usually doesn't work out. The FWB situation actually didn't work out, but he ended up my husband, so I guess I've got that going for me. You perv. Got wasted for free with a small business owner when I was 21. Lost my job for not showing up the next day, but remembered that I got a better one that night. Showed up to my first shift that afternoon making more money. I ordinarily have a very good sense of direction. I'm good at finding my way to places if I've ever been there before. Even once, I was on a trip to Italy with some friends, and we went to Venice. If you've ever been to Venice, you'll know that it's an absolute maze of twisting alleys, bridges, and squares. It can be very easy to get lost. We all went out late at night, mostly hammered, and me and one friend decided to split from the rest and head home early. Trouble was, the others in the group had our map. I managed to drunkenly guide us back from the Rialto Bridge to the western end of the island without getting us lost, entirely from memory. I'm super proud of that one. I'm a fan of online shopping after getting home after a heavy night, just before going to sleep. Important to delete the confirmation emails so that the next week is filled with mysterious packages arriving, and 9 out of 10 times I'm pleasantly surprised with what drunk me has chosen. Another time, I was in Puerto Rico with my BF. He and his friend were bilingual, but I wasn't very good in Spanish and the other guy's GF wasn't very good in English. Once we got drunk, we talked all night in each other's languages. In the morning, sober, we could no longer communicate, lol. That was pretty much me when I lived in Germany. I learned German after I moved there, so I didn't know much, but the nightly bar runs and day drinking in class kicked up the confidence I needed to actually speak German with people. I was too self-conscious sober. Turns out I knew more than I thought. Probably the time I left a note to myself, paraphrased from Dutch. Good morning butthole. If you check tea fridge you'll find some roast chicken. Happy breakfast. If you check the fridge in the shed, you'll find some monster hot dogs and sauerkraut. Happy lunch. Check the oven. Pizza is in there. Happy dinner. PS. I drank all your beer. Love you. X Volley 24 inches. When time machines are a thing, I want you to go back in time and thank yourself. Make out with yourself for something I don't know. Not me, but my friend. I was in Barcelona with 2 of my friends. One girl, one guy. The girl and I led the way everywhere, because she and I could speak decent Spanish. The guy friend was terrible, and could barely say basic words. One night, we stayed out till about 7 AM and got pretty drunk. We get into the taxi, and somehow our guy friend gives the taxi driver directions back to our Airbnb, all in perfect Spanish. Once we woke up later, he lost his powers and needed us to ask someone where the bathroom was. I once wrote a printer driver in assembly language while stoned. Worked first time when I tested it. No bugs at all. Only problem was that I had to get stoned again to figure out how it worked. I got drunk on holiday in NY. My parents got pee, I was drunk. We went to a musical and we were on such bad terms I left in the interval to sit outside and sulk cause I am super mature. Witnessed a couple having a fight. Decided drunk me could help. And I actually did. Solved the argument. Turned out one was a manager at a prominent NY hotel in Manhattan. I drank a lot for free the next few days. Cops busted up a party I was at during my freshman year of college. I was in the middle of shotgunning beers with some people when they showed up, and I made eye contact with one of the cops, finished my beer, and cracked open another one cause frick it, if I go down I'm gonna go down partying. Everyone else I was drinking with threw their beers down still half full. The cop asked for everyone's IDs but mine LMAO. It seems acting confident really is magic. Came home from a party and did an entire fluid dynamics assignment so I wouldn't have to do it hungover the next day. I was very happy when I woke up. Wrote a midterm for 1 classes. Ended up getting a 100% on it. Also cleaning. Hungover me always appreciates it, especially after a party. Got a 92% on a quiz for my business administration class. My professor went on and on about how difficult it was. He said the best grade another professor could get when he gave it to them was a B. I got drunk one night and took my online quiz and got my highest grade in that class yet. That professor is a jackass. Business admin. Jesus Christ. Got a really great dragon tattooed on my shoulder. Stumbling around randomly, we just walked into a shop and I told the guy to forget the flash and just draw it freehand. It turned out he was a fabulous artist and it's a freaking masterpiece. It's been years, and I still admire it in the mirror almost every day. Picture please. Installed Red Hat Linux 6.2. I had been playing around trying to partition the drive during the afternoon. I woke up to my Athlon 700 MHz gaming monster that had previously been running Windows 98, now presenting me with a login prompt that I had never seen before. All 10 gigabytes of MP3s that I had spent 6 months downloading on Napster was gone. Passed an English test in high school that I studied really hard for. Never did much homework so grade wasn't that good. Went into school drunk and aced the test. Teacher was P, thought I cheated and almost made me take the test again. Until I rattled off answers off the top of my head when she started grilling me. Chugged a ton of water to help prevent hangovers. It's not a perfect method but it really does help. I always thank drunk me for remembering to do that. Got really drunk one night and decided to fill out like 30 Halloween cards for children with cancer in the hospitals. I usually do stupid crap or end up passed out on the bathroom floor, so it wasn't necessarily the smartest thing, but probably the nicest non-harmful drunk thing I've done. The results were great. Rebuilt my half-destroyed Millennium Falcon Lego set after coming home from a party when I was 16 and had broken it when I was like 12. I popped in a Star Wars movie and built it by how it looked on screen and what the instructions could show me from the state the set I had was in. I crashed on the floor next to it and woke up the next day, groggy, but not hungover. Youth. Impressed by how well it was put together. Never crashed it again. About to see my nephew, and future owner, be born this week. I gave a full explanation of the entire Civil War to my 17-year-old niece while annihilated over a game of pool with her dad. She got an A. Riding back home in the cab, I was trying to recruit the cab driver to join my fictional drunk crab fishing boat I apparently wanted to start. I guessed to the exact cent what the price of Alaskan kind crab was that day as I was trying to convince him to come join me. I later ended up doing the Homer spin on the floor of the hotel my friend was staying at. Fun times. Got pulled over doing 60 miles per hour in a 30 after drinking 2x 40 ounces Old English. That was not the smart part. I would never do that again. I was 17. Instead of waiting in my car, I got out and met him as his car. He did not like that. Where is the smart part, you are asking? The officer asked me to do a field sobriety test. I passed the balance part easily. Alcohol doesn't affect my balance very much. Then the mental part. He asked me to cite the alphabet backwards. I did it the first try with no hesitation, in what I can only describe as an idiot savant. Zyxwati TCCBA. He just said wow, and let me on my way. Dodge a DUI. In high school, me and several friends were at the local lake drinking. Eventually a fight breaks out and the cops are called. All of my friends ran, but I chose to tie fishing line around the handles of the booze and hurl them into the lake while tied off to a tree. Cop shows up, sees no booze, takes down make and model of my truck and gives me a warning. When I reeled the booze back in, was nice and cold. In my small town, the liquor store and pizza shop are on opposite ends of town and only open until 2 AM. The dilemma was it was 1:50 and didn't have enough time to walk both places, so we ordered delivery to the liquor store. By the time we got our beer and came out, pizza was there. I always hide 90 milliliters of alcohol or 2 cigarettes while drinking with friends. When everyone is passed out, the last 2 people get the secret stash. I am called the Santa Claus for this. You are the friend we all need, but not the one we deserve. I was really drunk at a bush party and 2 slimmy guys that I went to school with were trying to separate my sleepy drunk female friend from the pack to do stuff to her. I noticed this in a rare flash of drunken insight and stuck to her like glue. I was in no position to physically defend her due to my drunkenness, but nothing kills the rappy mood like a drunken, rambling, vomiting idiot. Eventually they gave up. I was super drunk, but not as drunk as the friend next to me throwing up into a toilet. In a moment of coherence, they realized we needed to be awake at 10 AM the next morning and handed me their phone to set an alarm. I was too drunk to figure out how to set an alarm, but I did manage to set a timer that went off exactly at 10 AM. Applied for a job that I ended up getting and it kicked off my career in sports. That was 15 years ago. Since then, I've visited about 25 countries and am making a great salary. After the bars closed down, my friends and I were wandering the streets as we sobered up. This late at night there were no public restrooms available, so we reasoned that the world was our urinal. We duck into an empty parking garage to do the do. I get done first and post up as lookout around the corner. Just as a security patrol starts driving through. I work for a competing security company, so a plan formed in my inebriated little head. I flagged down his patrol vehicle, introduced myself as a guard from one of their other accounts, convinced him I outranked him, and told him to go investigate the other side of the structure first. He pulled off with a yes sir, and now I have my the other company hires moron story for our annual company holiday party. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.